For most of my life, I thought I had to earn the right to be seen. I waited for someone to say, yes, you're good enough. But even when the most respected voices in my industry told me I was, I still didn't believe them because I didn't believe in me. If you've ever felt like you're not good enough to be a content creator, if you've ever held back from hitting publish because you were scared of what they might think, this video is for you. It took me over 30 years to realize what I'm going to share with you today, and I'm hoping it can save you from wasting even one more day stuck in this pattern of thinking and maybe start addressing it for yourself. I want to try to help you with this because I've lived most of my life chasing someone else's yes. And when I finally started to address that, things really started to shift for me. I come from the world of acting. I trained as an actor and I've been lucky to work with some really amazing people over the years, but it is a world in which there is an awful lot of seeking the approval of others that happens. And, to a certain extent, that matters. It is a big part of it, whether you call it that or not. You can work your ass off on an audition. You can be really talented. You can do a great job. But unless you're self-producing, you do actually need the approval of others. You need an agent to like you. You need casting directors and producers to like you and view you as being right for the role. And often that's not the way it works out. It can be a tough gig working through a lot of rejection, and that is just part of it. But for someone like me who really struggled with self-worth, this can be like a bit of a soul-destroying endeavor. And I've been really lucky that I've had some amazing people in my corner. People who were kind of a big deal. Not to name drop or anything, but the beautiful late Elizabeth Kemp was one of my acting mentors. And she was also Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper's acting coach on a little film called A Star is Born, amongst other things. Not sure if you've heard of that or those people. But yeah, she was an incredible acting coach and a huge supporter of mine. And I had the absolute joy of being her friend and working with her. And she'd tell me I had what it takes and that I belonged on the stage and the screen and wherever I wanted to be. And she believed in me. And you know what? Even when I had that approval that I was so desperately seeking, it still wasn't enough because I didn't believe it. I thought these people, when they'd say these nice things, I thought that they were just being nice. I didn't believe in me. About 13 years ago, I entered into a long and incredibly helpful and healing relationship with my therapist. I did a whole lot of work addressing and working through trauma, breaking down the patterns I'd developed that led to the desperate need to seek approval in the first place. I began to engage in more meaningful relationships and open up to loved ones about my experience. I gave up drinking and I found my way to being creative again through a platform I've come to absolutely love called YouTube. Here I found a space to create, to share what I've learned and to help people. I actually started out sharing how I paid off some pretty massive debt, hoping it could help others. When changes in the finance space made it a little bit harder to keep going, I pivoted, but by then I'd fallen in love with the YouTube platform, and that's when I started focusing on helping other creators grow. I also have a channel with my wife where we share our IVF journey and life as a same-sex couple, and I really feel like through these channels, I truly feel more creatively fulfilled than I ever have in my life. Sitting in my little studio and working on my little videos and reaching people who really need to hear like my unique spin on this world. It was very exciting when I realized there are no gatekeepers on YouTube. No casting director. No one saying you're too old, too new, too inexperienced, too niche, too loud, too anything. YouTube is the stage you get to build and you decide the script. No one decides if you're the right type. No one's casting you in the role of you because, well, fun. You already are you. I still love acting when the opportunity presents itself, but to get to create on a regular basis on my terms, it's quite wonderful. Let me tell you, that shift, it was very freeing because now it was all on me. There's no casting director to impress, no one to say you're hired, just me, my camera, my words, my truth. And the closer I'm getting to my truth, the more exciting and fulfilling it's becoming. And I realized something really important. I'd been outsourcing my worth for years, but when I started creating for me, not to try to fit inside some silly little box and get everyone to like me, that's when things started to click. It wasn't about numbers. It wasn't about going viral, which is very lucky because I haven't. It was about reconnecting with my own voice, which is something that I feel like I'd absolutely lost along the way. So let's be real. Just hitting record doesn't make all the self-doubt disappear. I have done so much work in therapy and I'm still doing the work because years of conditioning don't go away overnight. And if therapy is not something you're able to or want to engage with, just acknowledging how you're feeling and that these feelings might be limiting your ability to create, I think it's really powerful. And maybe journaling might be the thing for you, or learning to meditate, or even just connecting with like-minded people that you can share the journey with. There are still days when that nasty little voice creeps in and says, who am I to be saying this? Who are you to be doing this? Who will even care? There are still videos I almost don't post because I'm afraid it's not good enough. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not perfect. Perfect doesn't exist, by the way. It didn't in acting and it certainly doesn't in content creation. I feel like I've learned something really powerful. When you wait for people to approve of you, you never move. And when you decide your voice matters, even if it's a little bit shaky at first, you actually give yourself the opportunity to heal. I feel like every video I publish is like a tiny act of rebellion against this idea that I need permission to be creative. If you're watching this and you've been holding back, know that you're not alone. The fear is normal, but your message, whatever it is that your channel is about, that's yours, and no one else can share it in the way that you can. So if you're a YouTuber or a content creator, any other kind of creator, you're someone with an idea sitting in notebooks or still in your brain or in your drafts, please hear me and stop worrying about what other people think. The people who matter, the people you're meant to reach with your content, they're going to find you because you showed up, not because you were perfect, not because the algorithm blessed you, but because you're real. I really feel like we're living in this world with just so much nonsense, like so much fake stuff going on. And I really believe that authenticity is actually your superpower. And even if 10 people watch your video, even if only one of them needed to hear what you have to say, I think that's a win. That's impact. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need to start believing in yourself and keep going when the doubt creeps in, which it absolutely will. But just don't waste your life waiting to be picked. Pick yourself, back yourself, speak your truth. And remember, your voice and your story, no matter how messy it is powerful. That's your gift. And the moment you stop seeking the approval of others, you're going to feel so much more freedom. If this has resonated with you in any way and you're a content creator, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I make videos and host interviews to support and encourage you on your journey. But more importantly, go and take one small action today. Maybe that means brainstorming some title ideas for your next or your first video. Maybe you could sit down and do some journaling if something's come up for you while you've been watching this video today. Or maybe it's time to connect with a content creator pal. Maybe introduce yourselves in the comments of this video. I don't know, you might find your new BFF for life. You don't need to be perfect. Your next step doesn't have to be huge. You just have to start taking action. And if you feel brave enough, tell me in the comments, what's one thing that's been holding you back? Saying it out loud or typing it in black and white might just be the first step to letting it go. And if you'd like some help crafting great titles for your YouTube videos, up next is a video with YouTube titles expert Jake Thomas from Creator Hooks, who gave some title reviews and really practical advice to folks in this community that translates across niches, and I know you're really going to find it very, very helpful. I'll catch you over there. Thank you so much for watching.